To this now, 5 people have died in an early morning blaze in a Pretoria West home. 2 adults and a baby escaped the inferno with minor injuries. According to emergency services, the house was engulfed in flames. eNCA's Masego Rahlaga is there. She joins us now with an update. And Masego, at this stage, what do we know about the cause of the fire?
Well, Tulas, that is still being investigated. I think if we were inside the yard, you'd be able to see, I'm looking at officials just in front of that white vehicle. There are officials who are busy investigating. They are from the Forensic Investigation Department. So they are, of course, here to, first of all, make sure that they take all the human remains that were in that house. We know that 5 people passed away, 4 boys who are brothers, the oldest being 24 years old, as well as their helper. The person who was able to survive is their mother, as well as the youngest of the siblings. So forensic investigators are here, as well as investigators from the fire department. We've seen them walking in and out of the house. Unfortunately, we can't get in because they have agreed with the family members that the media be kept outside the yard. So at the moment, Tulas, not a lot of information, but here is Charles Mavaso, who speaks for the Tshwane Emergency Services, who told us earlier today that they are hoping in 24 hours they'll know the cause of the fire.
A fire investigating officer was commissioned to the incident. He was at the incident this morning, but no report has been released as yet. And the law enforcement officers are also on the scene, and they have been on the scene since this morning. And as soon as the reports are available, or maybe a preliminary report is available, we might be able to communicate on that. It's 5 deceased. Of the 5 is 1 helper, aged about 41, as well as 4 sons, aged 6, 8, 22 and 24. And the mother is 46, and he escaped with the 3-year-old child that was rescued by the neighbor.
So, Masego, we're telling the story of, this tragedy, this heart-rending situation that played out there, the horrific scene that played itself out there. But at the same time, there's the story of the bravery of this neighbor. You had an opportunity to speak to this neighbor who was able to rescue at least 2 people while the fire was raging.
That's correct, Silasiza. We spoke to a Simon Motaung, a neighbor, who said that at around the AMs just before 1 o'clock in the morning, he received a call from the mother, the woman who lives here and the one who survived with her last born, called him in the early hours of the morning, frantically telling him to please come to her house and assist. There's a fire, they don't know where it's coming from, and they all huddled in one room. And he says he rushed his way here, and when he got in, he described having to break the window and then find an axe to break apart the burglar bars, and then was able to save the mother and the last-born child. We know that the mother was holding that young child, 3 years old at the time, and she handed the child over to him. And immediately after he put the child down, he went to go save the mother. And he tried to go back the 3rd time, and we did see that he's got some wounds on his hand. He tried to go back the 3rd time, and he says by then it was a little too late. First of all the screams that he was hearing from inside the house were now quiet, but also it was too dangerous for him because the fire had now spread across the entire house and was engulfing even the top of the house. So he says he could not breathe, and he just could not make his way in there. And you can imagine, Tulasiza, 1:30 in the morning, people are usually asleep. So I think maybe the family was woken up by this fire. And for some of the people who passed away, unfortunately, it was a little too late, and they couldn't get to saving themselves or anybody in the house. But here is that hero, Simon Motaung, explaining to us earlier today the trauma that he went through trying to save this family.
I was alerted by the owner of the house. I said to him, I must come and help the people because the house is on fire, it's burning. I was at work around 1:30 in the morning, so I rushed here. And then when I get here, I found out the house is burning. And I heard voices of people screaming in the house for help. And then I tried to look around and get something to break the window. I managed to break the window at the main bedroom. And then I used the axe to break the butler door and push it inside actually. And then the lady was standing there with a baby of 4 or 5 years. Managed to pull the baby outside, and I put him somewhere here. I went back again to go and help the lady to come out. When I go for the third time to help the others, the flames were now big. I couldn't because I was suffocating. The smoke was heavy. Yeah, that's it. I'm really traumatized where I am. I've never seen something like this. I always hear these things from the news somewhere, maybe somewhere, not here. But if something happens around here, then it's really traumatizing.
Yeah, really difficult times there for that family as well as the neighbors who had to go through that trauma of witnessing this incident. eNCA's Masego Rahlaga out in Pretoria West there. Look out for more of her reporting here on eNCA.